All right, I hope the outside noises aren't too much for the day. We have 40 seconds of bar hang hollow hold, 40 seconds of PVC pulses times 3. The bar hang hollow hold is from a pull-up bar, and kind of getting some action in the pressing against the pull-up bar to initiate the start of a kip or to press into the hollow hold position. The PVC pulses are a neutral spine locked out leg position in a prone position on the floor with the PVC overhead, trying to keep the grip as close as we possibly can to one another. The left hand as close to the right hand as we can, while still being able to maintain a fully extended arm position as we go to press the bar up and back. So we're looking to not add any additional elbow flexion, any additional spinal extension, and certainly no additional knee flexion. So this is going to be, these are very similar to the seated hamstring stretch, where it might not look or feel quite like what we expect it to when we think, all right, I have the mobility to be able to do a complete PVC pass-through or a dislocate, and suddenly I do this, and when I'm asked to keep a fully locked out leg and a neutral spine position and fully extended arm position, now suddenly my PVC pass-through looks like a fraction of what it would if I were using, say, a snatch grip and doing some spinal extension or compression. So there are certainly ways of performing this through a mobility minded exercise, and then there's ways to do it from a connectivity minded approach. So we're looking to stay connected, and we're looking to get some warm-up / mobility / flexibility type work while learning the end ranges of our ability to stay connected top to bottom. The first half of today's workout, 15 minutes, build to a heavy 7 reps of power clean. These don't have to be, but could be tap and go. They certainly shouldn't be broken into 7 singles, but could be 7 single pulls with a reset on the floor, like a resetting of your a complete reset up of your structure on the ground. Like it's not do one and drop, or one and then like let go of the bar, back off, retighten your belt or anything like that. But it doesn't have to be tap and go. It can be, but it doesn't have to be tap and go. So it could be, similar to a heavy deadlift pull. If you pull the deadlift off the floor, stand it up, and then you do like a controlled drop where you kind of turn your skeleton and musculature off, and you just sort of guide the bar down, but your hands stay on the bar. You're probably not going to be in the same setup position that you were once the bar hits the floor, but you can easily sort of get yourself back to your loaded and stacked positions, and then execute the second pull, third pull, etc. So similarly with this, it could be one power clean, a controlled, like guide the bar down, and then quick reset on the floor to make sure that each position is ideal. If we do the tap and go, that's very strong. That's, very functional, especially for the workout, the types of workouts that we do. But it's, the more and more we do, the closer we creep to the 5th rep, the 6th rep, the 7th rep, the higher the likelihood, probability that we will start to see ourselves getting a little bit more and more out of position. We might start to see a beautiful looking setup in the initial pull off the floor start to deteriorate into something that doesn't even really resemble what the initial pull looked like. So that's the reasoning for it not having to be a tap and go. But, you can assess your limitations or your capabilities and decide, which is the best approach for you. But like I said, certainly it's not a single and then a single and then a single. It's 1 rep and then 1 rep and then 1 rep. There's a slight difference. I think I just explained it enough that I don't need to go into it again. Now, the Metcon for the day couldn't be simpler at the 15-minute mark. So this is very similar to the first 2 days this week, Monday and Tuesday, where you have 15 minutes and you can approach the 7 reps power clean however you'd like to. You can use it as a sort of priming the pump a little bit and getting loosened up and warmed up and seeing how the movement's going to feel in the workout, and just sort of creep up the load a little bit here, a little bit there, and then maybe you end up finding the appropriate loading for you for the Metcon, the 55 reps that's going to be in the Metcon. Or you build up to a heavy 7 and then maybe back off a little bit for the Metcon and go a little bit lighter than you would have wanted to. And so herein lies the sort of the juxtaposition that we often run into with having some strength before a Metcon or having a Metcon after strength. Kind of, I guess, depends on the wording and how you look at it. Like if you're like really, into doing the strength work, then we have to look at it like it's going to reduce our capacities for what we are going to be able to do in a Metcon. If I come in with 100% of my energy, I recovered 100%, and now I do 15 minutes of strength work and or skill work, I'm going to take away some of that percentage, those percentage points, and my Metcon is going to suffer to some degree. There's just no real two ways around it. So that being said, however you like to approach it, I would then flip the script on the Metcon and not look at it like, okay, if it's got 185 or 125 pound hang cleans, obviously that's pretty heavy. So if I go for the 7 rep max or a true 7 rep type building approach in the first part, that's going to get even spicier for the Metcon. So maybe then I kind of pull myself back a little bit, go with a B or an A instead of going with the C progression there. The movement doesn't change, however, and the rep scheme and couplet don't. So we have the hang power clean and the bar facing burpee combination in the 10 factorial rep scheme. So it starts with 10, goes down by 1 each round. So you do 10 hang power clean, 10 bar facing burpees, 9 hang power cleans, 9 bar facing burpees. The B progression is going to be 155 and 105 with bar facing burpees, and the A progression is going to be less than or equal to 135 or 95 for the hang power clean, and then bar or line facing burpees. So the idea should apply across different movements. So if we, when we talk about if I do an ab mat sit up for an ab mat sit up, then I go to do a workout that has GHD sit ups in it. I want to try to move the needle a little bit, to accommodate what the stimulus is for the workout that has the GHD sit-up. So if I do ab mat sit-ups for the ab mat sit-ups and then I do ab mat sit-ups for the GHD sit-up, I'm not going to get the same stimulus as I would if I were just to, like I said, try to move the needle a bit. So for the bar-facing burpee, maybe we don't have extreme confidence with doing a 2-foot takeoff over the barbell, but doing a kind of standard burpee in place might also not give us the appropriate stimulus for the distance that we might cover, the rotation or spinning that might sort of take away a little bit of our or it might affect our approach a little bit. So at least modify it from your standard burpee or how you would do your standard burpee. It doesn't have to, you don't have to modify it, meaning like if you would normally do a kickback, so you don't go all the way to the floor with your chest, this isn't something that would affect that. So it's not like we have to make it a gnarlier version of the burpee as far as that range of motion goes, but more so the distance covered from the starting position to the finishing position traversing the floor 5 or 6 feet.